Welcome to our second edition of the Cattail Creek Insider. I'm very excited to welcome our new executive chef, Chef Tim Harvey. I asked for Chef Tim to join us today. We wanted to talk through some of our new menu, just get to know Chef a little bit better, and talk about some exciting things that we have coming ahead here. We'll just start off the bat. How have your first 3 months been here?
It's been great. The membership's been very receptive. They've been very welcoming. Staff's been great. It's been a busy few months, but I think everything's going very, very well.
How'd you end up here at Cattail Creek?
Well, I wasn't really looking for a job, but I was reached out by the club, and it ended up being closer to home, and ended up being a little more of the change of pace I was looking for, and one thing led to another, and here I am. So it's been a great change.
Yeah, I know during the interview process you mentioned that you drive by Cattail on your way to Manor Country Club. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your background through your culinary career?
I do have a club background. I worked at a couple different platinum clubs down in Florida. I did go to culinary school down in Florida, and then I moved back to Maryland, where I did a little bit of the restaurant scene out in Baltimore and at the Clyde's group, and then ended up finding a home at Manor Country Club for 8 years, and then I found my way here to Cattail. I would say my cooking style is more of seasonal cooking, so I do a lot of seasonal vegetables and different meats and stuff like that in my cooking. For example, for the upcoming menu in July, probably we're going to do a lot of summer dishes, like things with corn and heirloom tomatoes and different other kind of vegetables we find in the summertime. So that's pretty much my cooking cuisine.
Yeah, so I was going to ask a little bit about the seasonality, but before that, you mentioned you worked at a couple clubs in Florida. Tell me about what clubs those were. I know I believe it was Admiral's Cove, yep, and Mirasol, but tell me a little bit about your experience there. I know those clubs are some premier clubs down in Florida.
Yeah, so while I was going to culinary school, I worked at Mirasol, which was a nice step into the busy club world. A very large club. They had a lot going on. Very seasonal, as most Florida clubs are. And then I found my way over to Admiral's Cove, where I think I learned a lot of stuff I do in my career now. It's a great club. I learned a lot from the chef. I had a really good mentor that I had down there. His name was Robert Lally. He's an executive chef at a yacht club down there now, but I learned a lot from him. And then I found my way up here. So.
And you grew up in Maryland, is that correct?
Yeah, I grew up out in Frederick County. I grew up in Mount Airy. I went to Urbana High School. So I'm from Maryland, born and raised, but I decided I wanted to go down to Florida after I got out of high school, where I found a culinary school down there. So.
And now you have a couple kids up here, a couple young ones?
Yeah, I have a almost 5-year-old, and I have a 1-year-old next week. So they keep me busy.
One turning next week, and I know me and Chef, we talk about our hobbies a little bit. I love talking about gardening, and when I mentioned that, Chef mentioned that he had some chickens. So tell me a little bit about what you have going on at home.
Yeah, so when my wife and I we moved out to Carroll County up in Westminster, we decided we wanted chickens. So we ended up, actually, funny story, we had chickens before we had children, and then they ended up being eaten by a hawk, which is kind of sad.
Yeah,
But after our son was born, we decided to try chickens again, and it ended up working out. But we had 4 chickens to start, and one ended up being a rooster and ended up attacking our son. So we had to do away with him. We didn't eat him. We sold him to a friend of ours. But they're fun. They give us eggs every morning. They keep the garden fertilized, because you use their waste for that.
Yeah, that's great.
We also have some gardening as well. Right now we have some watermelons going, some cantaloupes, different kind of tomatoes, a bunch of different herbs. And I also have 3 apple trees. So
wow.
I maybe we'll bring some apples out here for the wintertime desserts.
Awesome.
So, but we definitely have a lot of fun stuff out in Carroll County.
Yeah, I'm really excited. My cucumbers are coming in. I have some tomatoes about to be ripened, but kind of in that same sense with seasonality, can you tell the members what are some things they should be looking at in the stores or in the local markets that are going to be really fresh right now and in season, both fruit and veggies?
Yeah, for sure. So corn is coming to season. Peaches are really coming to season now. You'll find a lot of heirloom tomatoes in the store soon. Peaches, like I just said. A lot of stone fruits like figs and plums, they're coming into season very soon. Different kind of chilies and peppers, all those are really come in the season now.
Yeah, I was just looking at the specials tonight. We're using some Fresno chilies on our seafood boardwalk fries. We're going to be talking a little bit about our new bar and new dining space that's going to be opening. We have a tentative soft opening week of July 20th. So sometime that week, we're going to be looking to open the restaurant. As with most construction, they say it's going to be on time, and there's always a couple issues. We are waiting on Coca-Cola to install lines, and that is our last thing, but we're hoping to have that open the week of July 20th. With that, can you tell me a little bit about what we can expect on the menu?
Yeah, so we're going to have a poached apricot dish that we actually had at our wine dinner back in the beginning of June. That was very well received, so we're going to bring that to the menu.
Yeah, it was a poached apricot salad that the members really enjoyed, and Colin was like, just put that on the menu because they're going to love that.
Yeah, so we'll have some shareable items too. We're going to do a cheese and charcuterie board. We'll do a hummus platter. We'll also bring in the raw bar. We're going to do some shrimp cocktails, some local oysters on the half shell, and then we're going to try out some dry aged steaks, some lamb racks, a lobster risotto. So and then we'll have some peach cobbler for dessert and some other cool things on there as well.
That's great. I know, and we're going to match in the restaurant. We're going to be presenting our new private label Cattail wines. We have a Cattail Creek Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Cabernet. They're going to go great with chef's meals. And then we're going to have some elevated cocktails up in the bar as well that we're really looking forward to. I also wanted to highlight some of the top-selling items since Chef started, and since we had a new menu start in late May. I pulled the numbers for our top-selling items, and I'm going to highlight them in the podcast so you can see them, but I know some of the top sellers. The first thing we always talk about is the tuna tacos. The tuna wonton tacos are by far the most popular item. Yeah, well, actually, I wouldn't say most popular item. Most popular item is the smash burger.
Yep.
Just in the restaurant here, not including the pool, we've sold 377 smash burgers just in the past month. The next highest handheld sold is the chicken BLT with 200. So smash burgers sold 177 more than the chicken BLTs. And we also have a salad that has been way more popular than all the other salads, the farmhouse chopped salad, where I see 232 chopped salads compared to the next best 93 just with our classic Caesar salad. But another item that I thought was really interesting, or not interesting, but just a great addition to the weekly specials was the fresh catch. So
yes, very well.
So can you tell me a little bit how you source the fresh catch? How do you pick it each week? Is it really based on seasonality, how fresh you can get it?
Yeah, so we get it from a local vendor out here in Baltimore area. I pretty much try to decide what's in season right now. Like rockfish was just in season not too long ago. Cobia, some other different fish. But of course, you always have your fan favorites like halibut and different kind of sea basses. So try and keep it fresh as much as we can.
Yeah, with that, I pulled the numbers in that category. That's our special category. So the weekly specials you see every week, but that includes the crab cake dinner, the ribeye dinner, the filet dinner, the fresh catch. Just in the past month, we've sold 153, and the next highest was the crab cake at 86. So that's been a really popular addition, and we recently added a soup and half sandwich option on the lunch menu that even today I saw we sold probably 15 to 20 of those items just on a busy lunch on a Tuesday. So some great additions, and those we've gotten feedback from members for when Chef was coming in. So Chef has listened, so we're looking forward to receiving more feedback and how we can really adjust to the member preferences. One of my last questions that I ask every podcast is, what is your favorite sandwich? And I know I asked this question in our interview process as well, and I will say he had a good answer, but let's see if it's the same answer.
My favorite is the, it might be different now, but I think pastrami is my favorite, but I am a big fan of the banh mi. So it has great pickled vegetables and herbs and pork and things like that. So
see, Chef mentioned the banh mi in our interview process, and banh mi is one of my favorite sandwiches, specifically barbecue pork. I like a barbecue pork banh mi, but pastrami, Katz pastrami, I'm from New York. That is also that's a top 5 sandwich for me, I will absolutely say. So, Chef, what are some other events or dinners that or different themes that you like to do?
I really enjoy doing wine dinners and different kind of spirits and beer dinners. So hopefully we can bring those to the the rotation that we do here. I think the last one back in June was a big reception to it. So I think doing more of those would be fantastic.
Yeah, we had our Flanagan wine dinner featuring our new private labels, and we brought Riley Flanagan in from the winery, and we're going to be having Eric Flanagan back, so the owner of the winery, to feature our private labels and some other wines from his cellar. But Eric's going to be joining us in September, and Chef did a great job with his pairings last time. I'm really excited to do some more wine pairings and as he mentioned, other spirit pairings kind of moving forward. Well, Chef, it was great having you here today. Thank you so much for taking the time, and we look forward to having you all back with us next month.